Today we're making spinach artichoke puff pastries. If you like spinach artichoke dip, you are going to love this spinach artichoke puff pastry. Spinach artichoke puff pastry combines crispy, flaky puff pastry dough with creamy, decadent spinach artichoke dip, and you don't need any dairy to make it. Not only do you need no dairy to make them, but you don't need vegan mayo, vegan cream cheese, or anything else like that to make these. I'm topping them with a little bit of vegan cheese shreds, but that's optional. Drain and chop your canned artichokes. You don't need them to be like minced up tiny, just chop them up into like rough pieces. Then thaw your spinach, and you're actually gonna use your hands to wring out that extra water. Frozen spinach has a lot of extra moisture in it, and that extra moisture is going to make the spinach artichoke dip filling too runny. So use your hands and seriously just squeeze it out like a sponge. I like to do this over a bowl, or you can even do it right over the sink. To make your cashew cream, soak some cashews in hot water. A lot of recipes that use cashew cream are gonna tell you that you need raw cashews or unsalted cashews, and I'm not gonna tell you any of those things. The soaking in hot water is gonna soften them up just fine, and you're gonna soak off any excess salt, so just use whatever cashews you have on hand. Add your soaked and drained cashews to a blender, along with water, garlic, lemon juice, salt, and pepper. You can also add the nutritional yeast to the blender at this time, but I like folding it in at the end instead. Blend that up until it's smooth and creamy. You do not want any gritty cashew texture in this cashew cream. So what I like to do is blend it up and then go prep my veggies and then blend it again for a minute before I add it to everything. That waiting time after you're blending is gonna allow the small pieces of cashew to soak up even more moisture, and it'll make it easier for them to break down. Add your spinach and artichokes to a bowl, pour on that cashew cream, and if you haven't added the nutritional yeast yet, add it now. Mix that all together until you have a nice, even mixture, then set that aside. Puff pastry sheets usually come frozen in a 2-pack, which is perfect for this recipe, but you don't want to roll them out completely frozen. I like to pull the puff pastry out while I'm starting to prep everything else, and that gives it just enough time to thaw, but not to get too warm. Cold puff pastry bakes up to be the most flaky and the most crisp. Now grab your first puff pastry sheet. You can roll this out on a floured surface, but what I like to do is roll it out on a piece of parchment paper. So roll that out until it's about 2 inches wider all around, and then slice that puff pastry into 6 pieces. Then repeat the same thing with your other puff pastry sheet. Now grab one of the pieces of the puff pastry sheet and put it into your muffin tin. What I like to do is lay it on top of the cup and then use my hands to just kind of gently press it in. And it's gonna fold over on itself, which is totally fine. What's important is that you get the bottom pretty flat. Once your whole muffin tin is full, divide the spinach artichoke dip between the cups. You can bake this as is, but I like to sprinkle on a little vegan mozzarella or vegan Parmesan. Today I did vegan Parmesan. Bake until the puff pastry is nice and golden. Let it cool in the pan just for a few minutes so you don't burn your fingers getting them out, but the spinach artichoke puff pastry should pull out very easily. If you're pulling them out and you're seeing that they're not cooked on the bottom, just stick the pan back in the oven for like 2 to 3 minutes to let it finish cooking. These puff pastries are just absolutely delicious. They have this like crisp, flaky puff pastry outside and then the creamy spinach artichoke dip on the inside. Ugh, they're so good. Obviously, they're delicious if you eat them right away, but if you do need to reheat them, you can do that in the toaster oven or in the oven. You can reheat them in the microwave, but you'll lose some of that nice crisp puff pastry texture. If artichokes aren't your thing, you can use all spinach. And if you love artichokes, you can use all artichokes. For an all spinach version, you're gonna use about 3 to 4 extra ounces of frozen spinach. And for an all artichoke version, you'll just use an extra can of artichokes. I hope that this video answered all of your questions about how to make these spinach artichoke puff pastries. If you have any questions I didn't address, feel free to drop a comment. I am always happy to help. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Happy cooking!